This is originally part of the story from May 15th of 2021. Four teenagers arrested and charged with murder in a mysterious Valentine's Day shooting death of Faith Burns. Four teenagers in Georgia have been arrested in connection with a murder investigation dating back to February of 2021. According to jail records, Kennedy Collins, age 17, Joycelyn Spencer, age 17, were both charged with felony murder and aggravated assault over the death of Faith Burns, age 20, who was shot and killed near a home in Dacul, Georgia on Valentine's Day. The two 16-year-old girls, whose names are not being released and who hail from Millville, Georgia, were also arrested in connection with Burns' death. Collins and Spencer were both residents of Loganville, Georgia, about 15 minutes away. The fifth suspect, Damia Mitchell, age 17, turned herself into police 2 days after the slaying after being the original person of interest in the puzzling and alleged five-person homicide. Mitchell was charged at the time with felony murder, aggravated assault, possession of a firearm by a minor. And jail records indicate that she has subsequently been charged with 4 counts of participation in a criminal gang. According to the local radio station, Mitchell and Burns knew one another and argued just before the shooting. According to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the citing local law enforcement and two were involved in a domestic altercation before the deadly rounds were fired right outside the home. Shell casings were found all the way across the street. In the update released after Mitchell was named as a suspect, police stated that investigators also believe that there were multiple people present during the shooting, but provided scant details beyond that. Prosecutors and police generally have been largely tight-lipped about the circumstances surrounding the victim's untimely death. What specific role or roles the four other girls may have played in the final moment in Burns' life is not publicly clear at this time. An online obituary states that Burns was born in Queens, New York, but moved with her family to Loganville, Georgia in 2007. There, she graduated from Grayson High School, where she played soccer throughout the years. Quote, she received a soccer scholarship to Gordon State College and later transferred to Georgia State University. Faith was a member of the Divine Love Church and participated in the youth ministry. She enjoyed painting, playing soccer, playing video games, hanging out with her friends, playing with her niece and nephew. Faith had a great sense of humor and was a jokester to many close to her. An obituary photo shows that Burns wearing a white shirt and a Christian cross on a necklace. The GoFundMe page raised more than $20,000 for her unexpected funeral. The Sunday afternoon killing caught neighbors' attention due to the sound of gunfire. A 911 call reporting one person shot led police to arrive to a home in question at around 1:30 p.m. that day. There, investigators discover Burns laying in the street on Uwati Trail, a mountain ash court in the unincorporated area of Dakula. The motive in the slaying has yet to be put forth. The original police press release on Burns' death reads as follows, quote, the Gwinnett County Police Department is investigating a domestic-related homicide that took place in the Dakula neighborhood early this afternoon. Shortly before 1:30 p.m., officers assigned to the Bay Creek precinct were dispatched to a person shot call in the Uwati Trail in the intersection of Mountain Ash in unincorporated Dakula. When officers arrived, they located a woman in her early 20s suffering from at least one gunshot wound. The victim was transported to a local hospital where she was later declared dead. Investigators believed that the shooting took place in the roadway. There are several shell casings along the opposite side of the road. Investigators are following up on possible leads in this case. It is unclear if the victim is a resident of the home where the shooting took place. 22 update. Gwinnett teen gets a 140-year sentence for taking the life of her ex-lover on Valentine's Day. Prosecutors state that Damia Mitchell, age 17, was the woman who fired up to 19 shots on Valentine's Day 2021, killing Faith Burns in this Dakula area subdivision. Police say that it was a gang-related ex-lover's quarrel. Four other girls were charged along with Mitchell. Channel 2 Gwinnett County Bureau Chief Tony Thomas has been following the story since it broke in February 2021. He spoke to Mitchell's family on Monday, who stated that the 17-year-old had no record. Quote, "I just know something needs to be done. What they did in court wasn't right." Vanessa Jackson, who is Mitchell's mother, stated, "She is not the shooter. She didn't do this." Mitchell's aunt, Lena Hall, stated that the 140-year sentence will rob her of her life. Quote, "No record, a child. She won't even get the opportunity to live her life, have her own kids." Prosecutors painted a very different picture of Mitchell, calling her a killer who was tied deep into street gang life. The jury didn't convict Mitchell of murder, instead opting for voluntary manslaughter, 3 counts of aggravated assault, and 8 counts of street gang terrorism. The jury found that she wasn't carrying a gun, and she was not declared guilty of 2 other gang charges. Another of Mitchell's aunts, identified only as Dory, stated that her niece had known the girl involved in the fight since elementary school. Quote, "They always hung out together, so it's not like they're in a gang. They're a group of girls who like to hang out and do typical things." Prosecutors showed the jury video and text that they say proved that the teens were tied to violent gangs and had a history of organized street violence. 80 of the 140 years given to Mitchell's involved gang charges, something the family states that they have a hard time comprehending. The family plans to protest at the county court tomorrow. According to the district attorney's office, the other 4 defendants in the cases have yet to go to trial. So I just want people to pay attention now. Back in 2021 in February, I don't even think I even heard anything about this story. And I understand why I didn't hear anything about the stories, because it has to do with nothing but women. And it has to do with a lover's quarrel. It has to do with those, type of relationships. It also has to do with gang activity. Right now, normally this would be a lover's quarrel and gang activity. This would be something that you would hear that men would be doing, right? Because normally you would find guys in gangs for, a variety of reasons. But now, as I've told people before, you have a lot of these girls out here who are mimicking, who are copying the exact same trajectory and roads that men have already went down, where you can already see where this is going to lead. It's not a good life. It's going to be a road of chaos and self-destruction, and anybody else that walks with you is going to have that same type of life. And as you clearly see what took place, she took the life of her ex-girlfriend. Now, the most amazing part to me is the fact that you don't have a lot of women talking about this. You don't have a lot of people on their LGBT storyline, right, of this month. You don't see them talking about this. You don't see them trying to bring awareness to domestic violence that is in their community, that is prevalent, that is happening right now as we're speaking. Nor do you see Black women sitting up there talking about the story, putting it on our timeline, and bringing awareness to this story that somebody's Black daughter had their life taken for clearly no reason at all. And you have one person that was obviously going towards religion, that was going towards God, meaning that more than likely, I can't say that she was in or tied to any type of gang activity, right? But she was basically trying to lead a whole better life versus what she originally, was, potentially a part of, right? Because if you listen to the obituary, the young girl who was about 21, maybe about to be 22, who had her life cut short, she was into a variety of things. She liked to play video games. She was into the church. She liked to play soccer, which she got a scholarship on. Nothing of that read that was a street kid, that was a street individual, that was somebody that was a part of gang life or gang activity. That read that she was associated or in love with somebody who was a part of that lifestyle. But the main thing I try to tell women is that when you deal with individuals who are part of this lifestyle, this is what happens. But when I try to convey these things, you get a lot of pushback. People don't want to hear nothing. So here you have all Black faces. These are all Black young women who contributed, who were accessories to what directly happened to this young Black woman, who is somebody's daughter, who is somebody's granddaughter, right? Who was somebody's niece, and she had her life taken and cut short For what? And then on top of that, the most infuriating part about the story is that you got the family of the killer, both women sitting up there saying like, oh, she don't deserve 140 years, she didn't do anything wrong, this is excessive, there's no reason to justify this excessiveness, this is going to ruin her life, she won't even be able to continue her life and potentially have kids. But what about the young girl that she took the life of? What about the crime and the murder that she was a part of? What about that young girl? She's not going to be able to continue her life. She's not going to be able to fully live out her role of that soccer scholarship. What about her family? What about that unjustified life sentence that her family has to live because of the actions that your daughter took in order to take her life for clearly no reason at all? But yet you're body blocking and you're defending, and then on top of that, you're saying that you want to protest the 140 years that she got. But isn't this the same thing that normally black men who do these exact same things, don't they get excessive amount of time, excessive amount of years for the crimes that they get? Like I said before, I don't want to hear no crime. Because when you have a man out here trying to tell you and trying to tell everybody exactly what it is and where this road is going to lead, what do you expect? Like I said before, she was man enough to sit up there and have this altercation, which led to some type of, dispute, which then led to shots being fired. She was man enough during all of that, be man enough for the sentence. I don't want to hear no crying. I don't want to hear no tears. I don't want to hear, oh, she's a great person. She's innocent. This isn't her. Somebody else did it. No, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. That's nonsense. That's ridiculous. Like I said before, if y'all would have sat up there the same amount of energy that y'all spending to figure that the amount of years is so egregious and it's unjustified, if y'all would have put that same amount of energy into this girl so that she wouldn't have taken this life, y'all wouldn't have to protest. We wouldn't even be talking about the story at the moment in time. But yet, y'all didn't want to do that. Y'all want to care when it's too late to sit up there and actually do something to correct the initial course. You want to try to correct the course after the fact, after everything basically went wrong. It's too late. It's too late. She has to live with the consequences, and y'all got to live with the consequences. Like I said before, stop following the same negative blueprint that black men are still consistently dying from at this moment in time, and thinking just because you're different that things are going to, I don't know, get better. You're going to be able to escape the life. You're not going to make the same mistakes. Like I said before, I need people to stop being so stupid. 100%. I need people to stop being so stupid. Because the moment in time that people actually take more advice from men who have seen friends or fathers or uncles or so on and so on lose their lives and go down this path, the moment in time we give y'all these examples and we tell y'all to look and listen and just shut up. Because the moment in time that you do that, you can save a lot of your daughters from going down this exact same path.